The Pokémon series has captured the hearts of gamers worldwide for decades, and among its many installments, the Sinnoh games stand out as fan favorites, including myself. Released in 2006 for the Nintendo DS, Pokémon Diamond marked the beginning of the fourth generation in the long-running Pokémon series. Alongside its sister game, Pokémon Pearl, Diamond brought the franchise into a new era of gameplay and technology. Fans of the series embraced Diamond for its expansion of familiar mechanics, introduction of new features, and its nostalgic yet fresh approach to the Pokémon formula. Over time, Pokémon Diamond became a beloved entry in the franchise, particularly for those who grew up with the Nintendo DS or rediscovered the game through the later remakes. Players appreciate it for its robust gameplay, the Sinnoh region's atmosphere, memorable Pokemon, and the feeling of growth it provided in the evolution of the series. Then, released in 2008 for the Nintendo DS as an enhanced version of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Platinum built upon its predecessor with new features, improvements, and refinements that elevated the experience. Fans often cite the game's expanded content, engaging story, improved battle mechanics, and overall polish as key reasons why it remains beloved. Pokemon Platinum represents a culmination of the fourth generation strengths and continues to resonate with longtime players and new fans alike. So today we will be talking about 5 things I think the Sinnoh games did right. Let's begin. One of the central reasons fans love these games is the setting itself. The Sinnoh region. Sinnoh is widely praised for its diverse geography, which includes snowy mountains, sprawling forests, industrial cities, and ancient ruins. The blend of natural and man-made locations helps immerse players in a world that feels both grounded and fantastical. Key areas such as Mount Coronet give Sinnoh a sense of verticality and scale that few previous regions offered, serving as both a geographical and narrative center. Locations like Snow Point City, with its icy aesthetic, and the mythological spear pillar atop Mount Coronet contributes to the unique tone of the game. You know, for a game that you played handheld, this was really stunning to look at back then. Sinnoh's rich lore captivated players. Stories of ancient Pokemon, the creation of the universe, and the mythology surrounding Dialga and Palkia added depth that helped make the region feel alive. For fans who enjoy uncovering hidden stories and secrets, Sinnoh was a treasure trove of narrative and symbolic detail. This strong world building encouraged players to explore and engage with the region on more than just a mechanical level. One of the main reasons people like Pokemon Platinum is its enhanced story and atmosphere. While Diamond and Pearl introduced players to the Sinnoh region and the enigmatic Team Galactic, Platinum gave these elements more depth. The evil team was written a little goofy, but also as a team that should be definitely taken seriously, and I like that. But what's up with these bowl cuts, bro? Like, for real. The narrative surrounding Giratina and the mysterious distortion world added a darker and more mysterious tone not usually seen in previous titles. This alternate dimension, with its gravity-defying terrain and eerie ambience, provided a unique and unforgettable setting that emphasized the stakes of the conflict with Team Galactic. I really liked the waterfall part and how the 3D of the DS really showed off how twisted this world actually was. Players appreciated that Platinum didn't just rehash the story of Diamond and Pearl, it expanded it with new layers and made the journey feel more epic and urgent. Platinum also added visual upgrades compared to Diamond and Pearl, including changes to character sprites, battle backgrounds, and the iconic new design for Giratina's origin form. These visual flourishes, combined with the haunting and memorable music, particularly the themes of the Distortion World and the Lake Guardians, help immerse players in the game world, giving it a distinct identity within the Pokemon series. The Sinnoh games introduced several technical improvements that helped reinvigorate the series. The transition from Game Boy Advance to Nintendo DS hardware allowed the developers to introduce more sophisticated visuals and gameplay systems. The inclusion of 3D elements for overworld structures, while still retaining 2D sprites for characters and Pokemon, represented an important step forward in the franchise's aesthetic evolution. To be honest, I really miss when Pokemon used to look like this. Call me old school, but I think Pokemon moved on to full 3D too fast. They really were sitting on something special here, but I suppose more thoughts on that for another video. A major addition was the Global Trade Station, or GTS, which took advantage of the DS's Wi-Fi capabilities and allowed players to trade Pokemon with others around the world. For the first time, it was possible to complete a Pokedex without relying entirely on local connections, vastly expanding the sense sense of community and global interaction. This online functionality felt groundbreaking and added replayability for many players. The online features and quality of life enhancements introduced or improved in Platinum also contribute to its popularity. The global terminal allowed players to interact with a wider global community, trade Pokemon more easily, and participate in Wi-Fi battles. The game also streamlined elements like the Pokedex, a DS touchscreen accessory that gave players useful tools like item finders, friendship checkers, and more. Features like these showed how Pokemon Platinum embraced the evolving capabilities of the DS hardware and provided a smoother, more modern user experience. All this together really made the Pokemon experience feel more real. You would get to interact with people all over the world, making you feel like you're part of something truly vast and amazing. No matter where you came from or how you were brought up, Pokemon was something that brought us together, and I think that's beautiful. Additionally, the introduction of the physical special split, which changed how moves were categorized based on the attack itself rather than its type, revolutionized competitive battling. This one mechanic gave previously underused Pokemon and strategies new viability, encouraging deeper team building and strategy. One example of this in previous generations is a Pokemon like Gyarados, who couldn't fully utilize its high attack power due to water moves being classified as special moves. With this split, now Gyarados could learn physical water moves that can take advantage of its high attack stat, making it way more usable. For fans invested in battling, breeding, and EV training, the Sinnoh games opened up new strategic possibilities. Platinum embraced these changes and encouraged players to build more diverse and viable teams. Combined with the inclusion of the Battle Frontier and more move tutor options, it became one of the most competitive-friendly mainline games at the time, helping to popularize the emerging online battle community. Another core appeal of Platinum lies in its gameplay improvements and increased challenge. Fans of the original Sinnoh titles often criticized the slow pacing and lack of balance in enemy AI. Platinum addressed many of these issues by refining the battle system, enhancing the speed of in-game animations, and adding the Battle Frontier, an endgame challenge facility packed with high difficulty trainers and battle styles. The Battle Frontier gave competitive and casual players alike a reason to continue playing after becoming champion, testing their teams in strategic, varied ways. This added longevity and depth to the game, encouraging experimentation with team compositions and movesets. I don't have footage of this because I didn't have time and competitive isn't really my thing, so just believe me, okay, thanks. Fans are often drawn to Pokemon games based on their starter Pokemon and regional creatures, and Diamond offered an appealing lineup. The three starters, Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup, each had strong final evolutions with distinct typings. Torterra as a grass ground tank, Infernape as a speedy firefighting attacker, and Empoleon as a unique water steel type. These final forms were both aesthetically compelling and competitively useful, helping cement a strong emotional bond between players and their first Pokemon. Empoleon was my first Sinnoh starter as a kid. I had a Torterra who once took on Cynthia's Garchomp solo, and Infernape reminds me of my favorite Pokemon ever, Blaziken, so they all hold a special place in my heart. Beyond the starters, the Sinnoh Pokedex introduced many fan-favorite Pokemon, including Lucario, Garchomp, and Roserade. Several of these new Pokemon were evolutions of creatures from earlier generations, like Electivire and Magmortar, which gave new relevance to classic Pokemon. This blending of old and new appealed to longtime fans, while still offering newcomers a fresh and engaging roster. Though I'm still wondering till this day why a new evolution for Jinx never happened. I know it's a controversial Pokemon, but this is Pokemon, the game about evolution. They could have easily made it evolve into something not controversial. I don't know. But I always thought this Pokemon belonged in the company of Magmar and Electabuzz, and not seeing it evolve felt strange to me. I mean, it has a baby form as well, so why not a final form like the others? Okay, I'm done rambling. The inclusion of powerful legendaries such as Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina also added excitement. Dialga in particular fit the theme of time and mythology that pervaded the game. These legendaries felt more connected to the story than in some previous entries, giving players a stronger narrative incentive to capture them. These Pokemon were basically gods, and we were introduced to the being even above them, the supreme deity of everything in Pokemon, Arceus, praise his name. Till this day, I still don't think there's been a Pokemon with this level of power or status as high as these guys. Could be wrong though. The Pokemon roster available in Platinum also significantly contributed to its popularity. One of the biggest complaints about Diamond and Pearl was the limited variety of Pokemon available during the main game, especially the lack of of fire types, and for someone like me, this was incredibly disconcerting. You try doing a fire-only run and then find out your team has like 3 Pokemon, and only one of them is actually good. Platinum resolved this by expanding the regional Pokedex, making over 200 Pokemon catchable before the Elite Four. This change not only made team building more enjoyable, but it also gave returning players more opportunities to use their favorite Pokemon or try new ones they couldn't access in the original versions, including iconic Pokemon like Houndoom, Togekiss, and Scizor gave Platinum more diversity and strategic richness. Perhaps one of my favorite Platinum additions is Rotom, because Rotom Heat is such a useful addition to a fire-type team, and in general, with its unique fire-electric typing and its bulk in my opinion, at least in the later generations anyway. I know it's still a ghost type here, but you know, I don't play competitive, so what do I know? In addition to the main story, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl offered various side features that extended gameplay. The Underground, a huge network of tunnels players could explore and mine for items and fossils, added an enjoyable diversion from the main quest. Players could also create secret bases, set traps, and participate in capture the flag style multiplayer games. This made the Underground both a solo and social experience that many fans fondly remember. Contests also returned in Diamond, offering a performance-based alternative to battling. By dressing up Pokemon, choosing appropriate moves for appeal, and earning fan votes, players could showcase their creativity and bond with their Pokemon in a new way. For those uninterested in competitive battling like me, contests provided a more relaxed and aesthetic challenge. But unfortunately, I wasn't a big fan of either of these, so no footage. Moving on, another feature that added to Diamond's charm was the Pokédex, a touchscreen tool that included a variety of apps such as a step counter, a map, item finder, and even a friendship checker. This device integrated the DS's dual screens in a fun and functional way, further setting the Sinnoh games apart from earlier entries. I actually found it pretty fun to use, but my favorite thing ever was seeing my team at all times while I walked around Sinnoh. That was really cool. Many fans of the Sinnoh games experienced it during a formative time in their lives, either as children or young teens, which lends the game a strong sense of nostalgia. The music, towns, and characters left lasting impressions that players carried into adulthood. Trainers like Cynthia, the powerful and mysterious champion, and memorable gym leaders like Volkner and Gardenia became iconic for fans of the series. Cynthia especially, with her formidable team and memorable piano theme. I still believe she's the most powerful champion ever, except for maybe like Leon. Nah, screw him, she's the best, don't at me. Furthermore, these games set a template for how the franchise would evolve on handheld consoles. Its impact is visible in later titles like Black and White and X and Y. The eventual remake Brilliant Diamond, released in 2021, was met with excitement in part because of the deep emotional attachment players had to the original, but we're not going to talk about what happened after release. That'll be another video. The Generation 4 games represented a shift from the sprite-based visuals of older titles to a more modernized, stylized presentation. It bridged the gap between classic and contemporary Pokemon, retaining the core turn-based mechanics while modernizing graphics, online functionality, and story presentation. Fans often look back on Platinum as a high point in this era, especially as it took the best of Diamond and Pearl and improved nearly every aspect. Pokemon Platinum is often viewed as one of the last games in this series to offer a balanced blend of challenge, narrative depth, and exploration without excessive handholding. Later titles in this series, while more visually advanced, were often criticized for simplifying core mechanics or reducing difficulty. Platinum remains a touchstone for fans who enjoy a sense of earning their progress, overcoming tough gym leaders, solving cryptic puzzles, and assembling a well-rounded team without too many shortcuts. The Sinnoh games remain beloved entries in the Pokemon franchise due to their compelling region, innovative features, strategic depth, and memorable Pokemon designs. Whether it's the sense of adventure that Sinnoh evokes, the groundbreaking use of online trading, or the nostalgia it inspires in players who grew up with it, these games hold a special place in the hearts of fans. Their legacy continues to influence the franchise, and for many, it'll always be one of the most cherished Pokemon experiences. People love Pokemon Platinum because it represents the best of what the 4th generation had to offer: a rich story, memorable settings, gameplay refinements, improved Pokemon variety, and a greater challenge for the experienced players. Its careful balancing of nostalgia and innovation has given it a lasting appeal. Whether for its gripping confrontation with Giratina, the strategic possibilities of the battle frontier, or the atmospheric exploration of Sinnoh, Pokemon Platinum continues to be remembered as a high point in the beloved franchise. So what do you think? Did you like the Sinnoh games? Or if you haven't played played them, will you play them now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. My next video will be on Pokemon Legends Arceus, so make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss it. Alright, that's enough for today. Peace.